Welcome back to the channel.
What up, Mox?
As welcome back to the radar for Rasslin Studios. You know what time it is? Wednesday night. You already know our Dynamite reviews going on right now. AEW Dynamite just finished. Let's get right into the show. Before we do, drop a like on this video. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button for it smashes you back. And let's get into it. All right, so AEW Dynamite started off with Hangman Page versus Ricky Starks. Hangman Page right now is the #1 contender because the rankings matter, I guess. 12 match win streak, whatever. In the end, it's a long match. Like AEW has this thing where they start off every show, whether it be singles or tag or whatever, it's a long like 15, 16, 17, 18 minute match. So what we got here, you had Taz on commentary, obviously, because Ricky Starks part of Team Taz, so he's out there, and Page gets the win. And then I thought this was funny. Taz is calling out Page, but Adam Hangman Page does not answer him, and just this is just Taz going, "Hey Hangman Page, hey Page, hey you, I'm talking to you." All right, so a lot of that, and then they come out. Hook comes out, throw some of the funniest kicks down on Hangman Page. I don't know what the hell story with that.
He's like, arms,
leg. So they start beating him down and whatever. And that's pretty much it. And then you have Brian Cage coming out for the power bomb, and then here comes the whole Dark Order. They come out, boom, boom, boom. They clear the ring. So it's looking like Team Taz versus Dark Order. It's some type of faction versus faction because we need more factions.
Yes, faction warfare. That's where we're at in AEW, which I get. I mean, it's you only have one show really, so you need to put all your talent on there. We know, but like some of them are getting a little confusing. But this one. These are two teams that we know that they've been working through the storylines for a while now, so it makes sense. So let's just throw them all in there. Hook, work on your kicks. That's very weird the way we're doing that. Come on, man. Your dad's Tad. Let's go.
Yeah, let's say he's doing some high knees, like high knee.
What are you doing?
It was interesting, but we'll see what happens to the next pay-per-view if Adam Hangman Page ever does get that title shot, because he's the #1 contender, because the rankings matter against Kenny Omega. So next thing on the show was Trent, who now has a question mark. What the hell that's about? He's taking on Penta Cero Miedo with Alex Abrahantes, who's now like, I guess, Penta's like personal translator, kind of playing like the the Bill Alfonso role here. And he's like really cheesy when he translates for Penta.
Yes.
So it is what it is. But this match was what it was. Penta gets the win. A lot of hoopla from Orange Cassidy and Alex Abrahantes. So they're out there just like doing a bunch of shit. And then in the end, Penta gets the win, defeats Trent. I mean, kind of was what it was. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this, like what's going on here, because like I like how Penta's separate now, kind of from the tag team that is Phoenix and Pac. It's like, Penta, so are they separating Penta from the Death Triangle and having this Alex guy? What's the story with that?
Yeah, it's a little strange to me. I think you're just trying to build something with Orange Cassidy. That's why we're having a match next between Orange Cassidy and Penta Cero Miedo. So I think that's what they're going for. I think it's just to get Cassidy back in a major feud with someone that's really interesting, like Penta. But yeah, weird that they just got rid of this, especially because we're talking about factions and we're just gonna break a faction up for no apparent reason. But
well, I mean, it seems like they're gonna go the 6-man tag route, right? So like this Death Triangle versus the best friends. But like, how come the 3 and the 3 aren't really like kind of
but Pac hasn't been around like for the last year. Like he's been stop and go really. Like he's been disappointing too because he hasn't been around, whether it's been COVID or injuries. But it's just like he just hasn't been around. So either way, the team hasn't really established themselves because he's never around.
Yeah, so it's like he was around. Obviously last week when they lost to the Young Bucks for the tag team championship.
Yeah,
but other than that,
he's stop and go.
Yeah, they haven't done a ton. But it looks like the 6-man tag is the route they're going for, probably for the Double or Nothing show. Looks like that's where they're headed with this. But we just haven't got like a lot of like the 3 of them together and the 3 of them together, kind of like face to face type stuff. Yeah. We had another promo from Miro. He's talking about whoever the champion is, he's coming after him. Who knows?
Good promo.
Yeah, who knows how long this push that he might get is gonna last? Could it be Lance Archer? Could it be Brody Lee? Could it be Brian Cage? Where they get this big title shot, they lose it, and they just kind of fade away for a little bit and then come back again later on. So this is the thing AEW does with these monster guys. They bring them, give them a big push, give them a big title shot. They lose that match and then they kind of just disappear. So hopefully it doesn't happen with Miro, and we'll see if a sustained push can be held going forward with Miro.
Don't waste them, Tony Khan. Don't waste them.
Exactly. Next thing on the show was the JR interviewing the Pinnacle, and it's interesting because they're and then Wardlow kind of starts it off by cutting his own promo, talking about Jericho's promo from the week before. Everybody's, the Immortal promo is what they're calling it. I didn't really like Wardlow's promo on this.
It's all right.
It sounded kind of just like real, linear. It was a real linear promo. It didn't have no highs or lows to it. It's kind of there.
I mean, it sounded like you and I trying to do a promo. Like, we're just like, there's our first promo. Let's try to like not mess up. That's kind of where what it felt like, which was fine. I mean, he's not a promo guy. He hasn't really done any promos. And especially we're next to MJF, who's like just a natural. So
So right as soon as that MJF cuts his promo, and he cuts another badass promo like he has a few weeks back. Nothing new. You already knew what you're gonna get out of him. He's coming for Jericho and his entire family at Blood and Guts. So it's gonna be this is legitimately the only storyline that's worthwhile currently, in my opinion, on AEW. Currently, right now, I think the one that has actual stakes, the one that feels the most real, the one that feels the most emotion behind it, and everything like that. I don't even care about Mox and Eddie Kingston stuff right now either, because that's been
especially later on too. Later on, that was corny.
It was corny. So this is the best storyline going right now in AEW. Let us in the comment section below. What do you think the best storyline is? In your opinion, what's the best storyline? I think it's this one, and I think it's the only one that's really worthwhile in AEW right now.
No, I completely agree with you. It's the only thing that has any merit, anything where you can get behind and really care. And the only one that's a storyline that's just kind of happening naturally and you feel it, where all the other ones are like going from like, are the Bucks good? And then they're bad again. And then they're good and then they're bad again. Yep. And like Mox and Kingston are just away and they come back and they attack a bus that was supposed to be full of, the elite, and it wasn't. So there's a lot of popping around. It's the only one that feels like there's a story. There's actual high stakes involved. Blood and Guts is a thing. Great promos from both sides. So you just have to get behind it.
Yeah, it's a way better, just on all angles, better feud than anything else. Next on the show was the AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida, the champion, taking on Tay Conti, who's been on a winning streak. Yeah, the rankings, the rankings again. But it was a solid match. Conti held her own throughout the match. Shida ends up getting the win. You already know that was going to happen. I don't think anybody thought Tay Conti was going to want to strip the title from Shida.
I was hoping that.
Yeah, so Shida wins, and then here comes the number one star on AEW in the women's division, Britt Baker, DMD. She comes out and then she points to the Tron, and the rankings are there, and she just pops out as number one, which is obviously just it's not, I guess, not true. She's not yet on number one in the rankings. Even though the ranking, I mean, funny thing is they know the rankings is such a joke that they have Britt Baker joking about it and on there, so it's funny. But we'll see. She's eventually gonna get that title off of Shida. You just know it. But good little spot for the women's division to kind of showcase them, giving a long match, but you can sprinkle more stuff in there, have more women have matches on there. You don't have to have all these tag matches and all this other stuff. You could sprinkle it out to build the division, make it more important.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a decent job with Tay Conti. It's been decent, but Britt Baker's a star. Britt Baker's the one that needs to be the champion, needs to carry the division. Hikaru Shida's a great wrestler in the ring, but she doesn't give promos, and the promos aren't strong, so it doesn't elevate the women's division at all. So you have to have Britt Baker, someone that can cut promos and have us vested in the product that is a women's division in AEW, because no one is. So and you're lying to yourself if you're enjoying it. You're not. They've done a good job with Tay Conti, though. That's the one thing. But I just drop the belt to Britt Baker. It's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
It's time. Next thing on the show was Tony Schiavone interviewing the Inner Circle. Which these Tony Schiavone interviews, I don't know if it's how can I say? I don't know if it's like a joke or a running joke gag that they have, that he comes out, does these interviews, and there's not really an interview to talk about, right? Like, it's literally like they just take the mic away from him.
He announces them in.
He basically announces the promo. Basically, he's announcing the promos basically. So he has the Inner Circle come out, literally doesn't ask a question whatsoever. They all take the mic from each other. So Chris Jericho, this is a tale of two promos here. Last week he had the massive, tremendous promo from Chris Jericho. So he starts this one off try to be a little bit too funny, so it doesn't really land a lot of the stuff he's trying to hit. Then you have Jake Hager cut like the weirdest promo ever. He says throwing straws. You're gonna be drinking your meat through straws.
And Sammy Guevara, that is not the way you say straw in Spanish. It's not even close. That's Strawlilo, whatever the hell you said. Come on, bro. Come on.
Definitely not. So Jake Hager promo wasn't really that good. Then you had the first part of Jericho's promo, which was too jokey and it didn't land that well. Then you had Santana cut a solid promo.
That was a good promo.
You know, said that the actions of the Pinnacle were bitch moves, good stuff. And then you have Chris Jericho kicking into gear and change the promo up. So like a story of two promos, it's very jokey, it didn't land that well. In the second half of the promo, it's energetic, it's fiery, it gets you hyped up for the match.
And you know it! And like I said, the worst is yet to come. May 5th at Blood and Guts. And God help you, he better own your soul. Because on May 5th at Blood and Guts, the Inner Circle owns your ass.
So he saved it there. Chris Jericho, absolute legend, knows exactly what he's doing. Maybe he just tried it, didn't land that well, so he kind of just, you know, upped the ante in the second half of the promo. But, you know, again, the best storyline going right now.
Yeah, and I don't mind that promo just because of the fact that it felt real. It felt like him having a conversation with us, and sometimes I can hit everything you say. So I didn't mind it. It's actually kind of refreshing that it's just like off the cuff promo that we don't see anything like that on WWE, where it's all so scripted and so perfect, and you know, it doesn't feel like it's live. It feels like it's recorded. This was him going out there, and it wasn't the greatest start. It wasn't terrible. It was just, you know, whatever. And then, but it was Jericho at the end, and it came through, and he got the point across, and that's good. It was refreshing for me just because I could feel that it was real. Where other times, you know, it was just like, is this real? You know.
Yeah,
so
you make a point there. Next thing on the show. Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall, because Billy Gunn, for some reason, who knew? I didn't even know this before, like a month ago or something like that, that he was part of the Nightmare family. Who the hell knew that?
I knew.
Didn't know the whole Gunn.
He was always in the crowd with
I just didn't know the Gunn. He's just there, like they're just there as like part of the guys in the crowd. So it's just whatever, it doesn't matter. But he's taking on QT Marshall, part of the Factory, you know, whatever. He comes out with you know, Tyson Agogo, the boxer, and they have the match, right? They have the match. It's what it is. Marshall gets the win because, you know, Gogo punches Billy Gunn in the stomach, and that's how he gets the win. He's gonna hit him with a big with some weird looking chair. So I don't know why they have that chair there in the ring, but they have it. So he's gonna hit him with it. Here comes Dustin Rhodes with some crazy ass face paint. He comes out, he fights off QT Marshall. He was gonna hit Tyson Agogo with it, and then he turns around, Nick Comoroto standing behind him, and he's able to smash the chair and break it over Comoroto's head, but he no-sells the living hell out of it. Here come all the officials to break up this whole thing. So we're still waiting to see where the hell Cody Rhodes is. And that's pretty much it. Well, he's ready to come back, hopefully, and then, you know, set it up for Double or Nothing instead of a big faction match, or just I don't think they should go multi-tag match. They gotta go at Double or Nothing, Cody versus QT Marshall, even though it's not the greatest match in the world, like we really care that much about it, but it's the way you gotta go with it.
Yeah, shout out to Dustin Rhodes. He looks great. I mean, he's in better shape than he was 20 years ago as Goldust. Like, he's just, you know, he's been doing this for 30-something years on, you know, WCW, WWE, and now AEW. I mean, it's impressive. The storyline is what it is. Nothing with anybody going, you know, involved. I'm not really feeling the whole the QT Marshall's part of the Nightmare family. I'm not really feeling that crew yet. I don't really. They're not coming across that interesting to me.
Yeah.
QT's all right, but you know, shout out to Dustin Rhodes. Looks great. Cody's gonna come back and take on QT Marshall, or maybe they'll have a tag team match, the two brothers versus whoever QT and whoever else is gonna be there. But I don't know. It's all right. It's nothing great.
Yeah, I mean, they might be saving Tyson Agogo for the pay-per-view. Maybe they do Dustin and Cody versus Tyson Agogo and QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Could be saving for that, right? Seems like that's where they're headed, because they're keeping Tyson Agogo like kind of like back a little bit. Because there will be a tag team match next week, and then he's not part of it, but you know, he's gonna, or a 6-man tag next week, but he's not part of it. So we'll see how it turns out. Next thing on the show was Kenny, Young Bucks, Don Callis, Good Brothers, and Michael Nakazawa chilling there. He's like doing some production right for AEW, right? He's a funny looking guy. So he's there. They're cutting a promo about how the ones that, you know, made Japan popular again. They made the highest selling t-shirt. I was talking about the Bullet Club. So kind of setting seeds, and maybe the Bullet Club might come from Japan.
That was fitting, but all right.
Yeah, but so I'm saying, like, they might come and come to the US and be in AEW. Who the hell knows? They've been teasing this for a while. We'll see what happens, but it's been the real stop and go. You know how we feel about the storyline. So they're there cutting a promo. Kenny's about to talk, and then you hear a bunch of honking outside of the trailer. Honk, 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 honk. And then they cut to the outside, and it's in a truck. It's Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley. They ram the back of the big trailer of the Elite, and then they go inside, and nobody's in there.
Oh my God. Look who's at the wheel. Didn't they say come get him? Did Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston?
Which I thought was kind of dumb.
It was a dud.
It was dud. Like, okay, so they should have showed them escape out, right? Rather than them just crash into it and, oh, that's it. They go in and they look dumb, right? Because they crash in and like, oh, they're not even here. All right, let's go.
Like, was it the wrong one? Like, what exactly was the thing? Like, they were honking. We heard the truck outside. None of it makes any sense. I know what they're going for if it had this Austin vibe of, late 90s where he's driving a vehicle to the store and crashing into somewhere. But Austin would come through and knock somebody out. You would see him be on top. They look like dumbasses just taking out a truck for no reason, busting up their truck. And then these guys just ran off. So were they outside? Because they looked out the window. Gallows was looking out the window and saw them. So it was dumb, very dumb.
They should have cut. They should have cut to them like escaping as soon as like he was about to crash into it. It gives more effect.
Just have him attack him. What's the big deal? Maybe like Kenny gets out, Young Bucks gets out. Maybe Gallows and Harris take most of the brunt, or Michael Nakazawa takes most of the brunt of it. I don't know anything, but just have us some action, not them breaking a window. It was dumb. It was
It missed the mark because of that aspect of it. It makes him look stupid, to be honest with you. So next thing on the show, we had Christian Cage versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, solid match. Christian Cage sold a lot, trying to sell Powerhouse Hobbs. It's a monster, big monster. But they're digging themselves out of a hole with Powerhouse Hobbs because the way he was brought in, to the way he's been booked, and has done absolutely nothing. So he's already delegitimate, so you got to re-legitimize him, and this is like the first step towards doing that, making him an actual player in that Team Taz, who's fallen off just like a nosedive since
they lost twice tonight. So
exactly,
like when have they ever won a match? And then Hook with those kicks. I mean, just it's not that impressive. So far.
And then you had this at the end. So Cage beats Hobbs, right? Sells the he's exhausted and he's beat up, and then Ricky Starks comes out to help his teammate and it stares Cage down. So are we looking at a maybe Hangman, and Christian Cage with somebody from the Dark Order, maybe John Silver taking on, the team of Ricky Starks, Hobbs, and Brian Cage. Interesting fact though, funny little thing, Vince McMahon would never let two guys with the last name Cage be on the same roster or face each other, Christian Cage and Brian Cage. He would never let that happen, to be honest with you. So it's a little funny thing. But yeah, I just think that's where we're kind of going with it. It's like, well, whatever, I guess. Team Taz is so like, oh, nobody cares because they don't win anything, and the FTW Championship is pointless.
Yeah, like there's nothing there that's viable that makes them serious or you can get behind. There's some good talent in there, don't get me wrong, and like the guys, nothing's wrong with the guys, but the team itself, they aren't a threat to anybody because they've never done anything. They just all talk and they lost every time. So just, again, you're not adding much when it comes to why does Christian Cage you need to get involved. You just beat Hobbs. What does it even matter? You keep going. You just keep burning the ranks, like you said. Yeah. Now,
next thing on the show feels like super packed with stuff, right? So this is the last match on the show. TNT Championship match, Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Remember, it's an open challenge. Jungle Boy takes him up. Tremendous match. I mean, Jungle Boy is just an absolute star in the making, and the only guy that AEW is correctly building slowly is Jungle Boy Jack Perry. The amount of times he's had singles matches so spread apart from each other, and he delivers on each one. It's a star being built in front of your eyes consistently over a long period of time. Super smart stuff from AEW there. So the match is, the match is tremendous. Allin gets the win. Then you have Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page for some reason attacking these guys. Who the hell really knows? They did some like lurking in their promos previously and stuff like that, but they don't really have a reason as to why they're doing what they're doing because they're a tag team. So whatever. Then they're beating down Darby and Jungle Boy. Here comes Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer. He starts beating them down. He goes to a double choke slam. They kick him in the nuts. Then here comes Sting, and this was hilarious. Sting just comes, points his bat, get off my lawn type of thing. That's what he looks like, get off my lawn, and they kind of just run away from him. So it looks like
Sting is in and they're all gone. Sting with the bat in hand. Man, what an explosive.
So it looks like we're headed towards, maybe a 6-man. It's just, who the hell does who do Ethan and Scorpio?
Why not?
Yeah, it looks like Sting and Murder Hawk Monster versus Scorpio and Ethan Page, maybe, or they add Darby and then they get a partner. Who the hell knows? But that's the way the show ended. So
just enough with that. Like, every feud has like 9 people involved. They're just like, every match can be 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or tag team. Just we need more singles things here. Let's get I know it's fun to have our groups and stuff, but let's have like a viable singles match, a storyline of 2 guys just having a feud together. And why does Sting keep coming out and just holding a bat and everybody runs away, and Murder Hawk Monster comes in, they kick him in the nuts. He's supposed to be like an actual threat. So I don't know, old man. it's just I don't love the storyline right now. I mean, but shout out to Jungle Boy Perry. I mean, good job of him. He continues to show that he's someone in the future we could look at and have a viable guy and maybe be an AEW champion one day, because he's had matches with Cody Rhodes. He's had big matches for the TNT title and main events, and he always delivers. So shout out to him. He's very impressive.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of like, why is Jake still with Lance Archer to be like still?
Yeah, it doesn't really
doesn't serve much of a purpose. Yeah,
because now he's doing his own promos. So what's the point of even having Jake there? I mean, I feel like it's more because it's Jake Roberts than anything else. But yeah. I don't know. That doesn't fit. Too many people. Just too many things going on. Just I don't know. You got this guy's helping this guy. That guy's helping this guy. It's like, can we just have a match and we don't have to have so much hoopla? It's a lot of hoopla every match, which is fine, but damn, sometimes you just want to see a match. Yeah,
exactly. It's like way too much going on. And, it's Wednesday, so you're going to get our review. You're going to get Faction Mania from AEW Dynamite. Yes. Appreciate you guys for that's a review. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys think of AEW. All that good stuff. Later, guys. If it was working, not a good job.
Later, Mom.